Everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Mondays with Mindy. Good morning, Mindy.
Good morning, Christian. Today we are heading north into Canada to have a proper gab with the multi-platinum award-winning singer, songwriter, actor, and author, Jann Arden.
Wow.
Here stateside, she is not as well known, but I do believe that is finally going to change now that her series is available on Hulu.
Nice.
Jann has released 14 albums with 19 top 10 singles.
Wow.
Her most recent project, Hit and Other Gems, was released in September of 2020. Her accolades include 8 Juno Awards and 4 Western Canadian Music Awards, to just name a few. In 2020, she was announced as an inductee into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame, joining other icons, Alanis Morissette, Bryan Adams, Joni Mitchell, Shania Twain, and many more. She also has a star on Canada's Walk of Fame and has been awarded the Order of Canada.
Wow.
Jann has also written 5 books. Her most recent, her memoir, If I Only Knew Then, Finding Wisdom in Failure and the Power of Aging. Amen, sister. The memoir follows her 2017 Canadian bestseller, Feeding My Mother, Comfort and Laughter in the Kitchen as My Mom Lives with Memory Loss, which spent a combined 44 weeks on the Globe and Mail bestseller lists.
Wow.
Yeah. Season 2 of her CTV hit original comedy series, Jann, premiered in September of 2020. I believe they are either about to launch season 3 or have already launched season 3. We'll check in with her.
Mm-hmm.
Jann serves not only as co-creator and star, she plays a fictionalized version of herself. Season 1 of Jann was the most watched new Canadian comedy series of the 2018 and 2019 broadcast season. So catch it for us stateside, catch it on Hulu.
Yeah.
Whether she is captivating audiences with her heartfelt music, entertaining them with her quick wit, or sharing her written word in a boldly honest voice, Jann is a brilliant, multi-dimensional talent.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And she's been keeping busy, I'll say.
Right? Jeez.
I can't wait for our listeners and our viewers and pretty much the folks stateside to get to know her a little bit better. Ladies and gentlemen, we are excited to have a conversation with Jann Arden.
Woohoo!
Hello, Jann.
Yeah, totally for you. Kiddo.
Hi there.
Hi.
Stop. No, stop. Stop.
We won't and we shan't, and we'll keep it going. Welcome to Mondays with Mindy.
Mondays with Mindy. Indeed. I'm so thrilled.
Cool. We start each episode. Christian and I came up with 20 questions. I pull 5. We just start gabbing is really the thing.
We'll get to know you.
No, there's no horror about it. I promise. My God, I pulled this one and it's so deep. I just can't. I mean, we want a deep dive, but we don't want to drown you. Hold on. Did where or how you grew up help you develop your aesthetic?
Absolutely. I am speaking to you now from maybe 5-6 miles from where I grew up. It's called Springbank, Alberta. When we were growing up, kids from other communities called us the kids from Sperm Bank, which was, but let's keep this in perspective. They came from towns like Cochrane and Balzac.
Exactly.
Canada.
And I'm not kidding. I know
Canada.
But yeah, I think I went to a really small school. There was like 42 kids in my school. My dad was in concrete his whole life. My mom worked odd jobs. She worked at like an egg farm, and then she worked at a dental office, like without any training. She got a job in the city. Calgary is the closest city to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think we were just rugged, we were very independent. And I think that did shape my life and the way I thought about my place in the world. I had no idea what was out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
When is the last time you cried? Out of sadness or happiness, may I add? I've decided to add that because I cry a lot out of happiness.
Yeah, I think, I was cry laughing playing tennis about a week ago. I met a couple of girlfriends in a little island called Bowen Island, which is a 15-minute ferry ride from Vancouver, BC. So it would be kind
of. Is
that
like near Hornsby?
Yes. If you can picture the Puget Sound, kind of what people imagine on the coast of Seattle and Washington, up in that area. So just above that, Vancouver Island, Bowen Island, very close to Hornby. And we were playing tennis. I don't really play tennis. And we had our 2 little dogs with us. There was 4 of us, and the dogs thought it was a game for them, and they were chasing the balls. I mean, you kind of had to be there, but we never really had a volley. It was the balls just kind of went. We were running around, and I really was laughing. And I thought at one point that I couldn't even move around, but it just was something so simple and so funny. And seeing the dogs in ecstasy, chasing these balls and not knowing what to do. Like, what is this game?
It's overload pleasure. I don't know. Yeah.
But I did. I had tears rolling down my face, and it felt,
fantastic.
I didn't think I was going to come out of the laugh. It was one of those moments.
Those are good moments.
I love that. Where you then, like, hours later, you're like, did we do abs? Like, what happened? My stomach is like aching. This is the best abs ever.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite relative?
Well, it would have been my deceased mother, I think. Are we allowed to say like mothers?
Yeah,
of course.
She was really hilarious. It was an interesting time with her. She had Alzheimer's the last 10 years of her life, but she was still in there. She was still extremely funny. She said profound things. But, I remember being 16 years old and probably up to no good and being disrespectful. And she said to me one day, Jann, I am not your friend. I am your mother. And it hurt me at the time, but as a young 30-year-old, 40-year-old, I thought, I get exactly where she was coming from. She had to be a disciplinarian. Yeah. But she was my true north. She was extremely charismatic and funny and kind. And I'd be happy sitting on an apple box in the middle of a field. And that's exactly how she was. I just have a vision of her watering plants and looking after birds that hit windows. And
was she gobsmacked when she would come? Would she come to your arena shows? Like, would she just freak out? I mean, was it ever lost on her? Like, what the heck?
She didn't freak out at all.
Amazing.
I remember the last few years. I mean, before she got quite, forgetful.
Of course.
But I remember, I was coming through Calgary and doing a show, and I said, "Do you and Dad want to come?" And she said, "Well, is it the same as last year? Because we don't need to do that again. Why don't you get those tickets to somebody else?" She didn't mean it in any way, but she wasn't a stage mother.
Dan, I'm gonna share something with you that I rarely talk about because I just don't. My parents, in the 10 seasons we shot Facts of Life, my parents never came to a taping. Not one time. Not because they weren't proud of me or what I was doing. Right. It's just they were busy. They had careers. And they'd see me later that night. Like, I'll see it home.
We'll see it on the TV when it comes out.
Exactly.
Well, they came to really bad gigs too. I think back to playing the bars. We all have to pay our dues.
Yeah.
And the bars in Canada, I'm sure, are very similar to small town America. There really isn't that much of a disconnect between our countries. Honestly, yes. I know America often thinks of Canadians as the crazy aunt in the attic. You can hear us up here. We're walking around. You're like, what the hell
You're
is
just
happening?
Much more kinder. And
truly. But anyway, I would be in bars where the stage would be wrapped in chicken mesh because people threw stuff at you. And I remember my dad sitting at a round table that was covered in that red terry cloth.
Yes.
With like a pop sitting in front of him, a soda, and with his fingers firmly planted in his ears. And afterwards, and it was terrible. We were a terrible band. We did covers. We did Sheena Easton and ZZ Top and Foreigner, and it was terrible. We were a terrible band. And he said, "That's the goddamn worst thing I ever heard in my goddamn life." And so my parents saw me in a lot of those gigs. But I think when I started performing, actually having the balls to play my own music, things that I had written. And when I got my record deal, I didn't get my record deal till I was almost 30. So, wow. It came to me very late in life. I played the bars for years and was turned down by everybody on the planet. But they were very nonchalant about what I did. My mom said, "We're very proud that you're a singer and we're glad you're enjoying yourself. And we wouldn't care if you were a plumber. And actually, we could use a plumber more than a singer." This was
They
my
keep it real.
parents.
Yeah. Listen, I love it. I'm so
too.
grateful to have the parents that I have for a plethora of reasons, but that mostly that they really helped me understand that what I did for a living was great, but it wasn't, it's what I did, not who I was,
Exactly.
Yeah. What's your favorite place in the world?
Oh my gosh, I've traveled so much the last 30 years. Um, you know, I think home, I live in a little kind of a mini forest about 20 minutes west of Calgary. So you'd call it the foothills of the Rocky Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
I've been out here since I was 8 years old. COVID has been a blessing for me because I've been home more in the last 18 months than I have been in 25 years.
Wow.
But I have a ton of wildlife here. I live right on a river called the Elbow River. I work here a lot. I record here a lot.
Mm-hmm. Now, is it the house that I've seen on Instagram?
Yes.
Okay, because it's amazing.
It's fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean, it is really nirvana.
I just have slowly built it up, but I, much like my parents talking about influence, I just kind of stayed a country girl, but I normally travel 250 days a year. So it has been so nice being here, but I love it here. But I'll tell you what, so many beautiful places in the world, isn't there?
Yeah,
But,
of course. Of course.
For sure.
So if you could ask anyone, alive or dead, anything, who would it be and what would you ask?
Oh, it would be Karen Carpenter. Like, without a doubt. I don't even have to think about it.
I love that.
And I think I would ask her, I think I would want to take her for lunch. And
well, feed her, yes.
Yeah, I know. I mean, what a crazy, difficult journey that was for her. Any kind of eating disorder. But I would have talked to her about music. I would have talked to her about touring and playing the drums, and if she had singing lessons, and how her and Richard did their harmonies, like silly things like that. But if I could have met Karen, I just would have been overjoyed. I met her brother many, many years ago, and Karen's mother at a publishing thing in Los Angeles, and I couldn't even speak. I shook Richard's hand, and I just said, thank you for your music, and it was really, really. I would have liked to have met his sister too, but
she was amazing. I met her.
Oh, Mindy.
When they were recording at A&M Record Studios in Hollywood. And I met them.
That was my label down there. So that's, but I did see the studio that they worked in.
Okay, well, good. There it is.
What was she like?
She was magical. I mean, she was very ethereal. Obviously, just the look of her and the sounds that she made. But I have always been very enraptured with musicians in the music business, and they're kind of like my sports heroes, where I just go deaf, dumb, and blind. I mean, I kind of don't know, because I just don't have that at all. That is not my instrument. That is not how I express my creativity. So I'm always kind of like,
I'm so jealous.
She was just darling. I mean, it helped that I was introduced to her by Herb Alpert. So,
okay, well, this is just getting even more layered.
Right. So there's that, because, so that's,
I played trumpet in junior high school because of Herb Alpert. Like, we only had like 10 people in the band. When you have like 80 kids in your whole school, the band really sucks. But because of her, I played trumpet badly.
Amazing. So you talked about, because we're just all coming out of, if we can even call it coming out of them, and I know you have tour dates coming next year. Yes, this is actually happening, that you're going to go back out on the road. Thank God.
Yeah.
And season 3 of the show is launching. And have you guys finished it?
It's all done. It's been done for about, 8 weeks. And television, there's such a long lead up, but we the premiere starts the 27th of September. I'm not sure when Hulu goes with season 3. The first 2 seasons are on Hulu in the States now.
Right.
But it's really exciting. We got bumped because we're having a federal election, and we were on the same night as the federal election. So they've put us on to the 27th of September now, which is,
Let's not. Very, very good. So during this downtime, if you can even call it, Christian and I were actually talking about it, is like, this woman ever stopped doing things? Holy hell. What inspired you what did you binge on? Like, what happened to you during this time?
Yeah, the doing a television show, I'm 59, and I had been approached about television in my career, but it was always a talk show format. I'm sure you've been inundated with that. And I really just didn't have any interest. I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave Calgary. I was looking after both my parents, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, when this came along, Andrew Barnsley is one of the producers from Schitt's Creek. Mm-hmm. And he just said, he got a hold of me through a mutual friend. He's like, Jann, in a perfect world, like, honestly, what would you do if you could do a television show? And I said, Andrew, another year went by. And I finally went to who turned out to be my co-creator, Leah Gauthier. And I just said, Leah, what the hell is a pitch sheet? And what would we do if we did a TV show? She was in reality television. Mm-hmm. And so she flew to my place and we sat at my kitchen table and came up with this, basically what we're doing. I'm not an actor. So we had to kind of keep it close to the bone. So I play a very weird version of myself.
Yeah. And it's very meta. I like that.
Yeah. If people think, I thought your mother was dead, I'm like, oh no, she's quite dead. This is all fiction. So I just confuse people constantly because we use a lot of my music but it has just been an absolute pleasure. And I know I'm at a certain age where women are supposed to kind of step to the side and bow out of the scene. And I just feel like I don't want to do that.
Screw that.
I want to do this as long as I can. And I think it's a very funny show. We really wanted to have dementia in that. I said to Leah, I think Alzheimer's is funny. My mom was funny. Yeah. So yes. And God loves CTV, my Canadian network. They were just so like, let's try it. If nobody watches it, I guess that's how it goes. And we have been gobsmacked by the outpouring. I mean, obviously I have a fan base just with music, but I have had so much fun. I film very close to my house out here. And to be able to stay home, this is all so new to me. I've never seen a harder working bunch of people in my life. I work 2 hours a day, maybe in music. I show up, I sing a song, I'm back in my hotel room with my dog watching a Magic Bullet infomercial before I fall asleep. How to make salsa and pancake mix.
Yeah.
And this is like, my pickups were 5:30 in the morning. I'm like, one eye is like glued shut. You have people touching you. And then we're trying to do this last season during COVID. Yeah. And we had the same numbers up here as you guys did down there. We still have stuff happening with the Delta variant here. So we certainly weren't exempt, but here we are. Who knows how it happens, but I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, of course. So who are you a fan of? What have you been binging on? Or have you had time to binge on anything?
I have. Oh my God. I just watched White Lotus on
I just started it. I haven't finished it.
Oh my God. I mean, Mike White is my superhero. Yes.
I just I don't know how I'm going to feel about, and I'm not going to give anything away because I know people are just starting it. I don't know how I feel about ever going to any kind of all-inclusive resort again, as long as I live. As a white person, I feel like I just need to vacation on my deck forever.
Yep. Pretty much.
But I did Game of Thrones for the third time during COVID.
Wow.
All seasons. I redid all the Downton Abbeys. And actually this second time through Downton Abbey, I was like, oh my God, I actually know who everybody belongs to. Right. You know how you kind of watch stuff and you're nodding off and then you just keep going and your TV's looking at you going, are you still watching? You're like, yeah, no, go. Yeah, I'm still on it. And you're like, did I see this? Anyway, but I loved Billionaire. I love Succession.
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite show. Succession. Blows my mind.
The Goldbergs. I'm on season 6.
Oh my gosh. Excellent.
Wendy McClendon Covey is one of the funniest. I just love that. And then I've done a lot of indie movies. Yeah. But yeah, I'm always up for watching, Euphoria or just things that really kind of push those buttons that are sort of uncomfortable, but you watch them and you kind of go away feeling like your life is all right.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's a good way to put it.
Agreed. Definitely agreed. And who or what is inspiring to you right now
I have to
or
say,
ever?
yeah, I've really changed a lot of things the last few years. I stopped drinking about 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And right around the same time I became vegan. I hadn't eaten red meat in many, many, many years. And I just thought, oh my God, I can't take it emotionally anymore. I want to, how do you change the planet? What do you do about climate
Yeah,
change?
yeah.
And I'm thinking I can eat more plants. So that's kind of where I came into the conversation, because you do feel helpless. How do I change things?
Yeah.
And it
Yes.
does start with what's on your plate in a big way.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm really inspired by any kind of advocacy for animals. I think,
Mhm.
like, I look at someone like Greta Thunberg, and here's this young woman, and any kind of advocacy for the planet, when you have a lot of opposition, when you're
Yeah.
a worrier, when you carry the weight of
Yeah.
concern about, will we have enough water, will we have oxygen, everyone's being cruel to animals. And I look at her and I'm like, I am going to throw all of my positivity your way.
Yes.
I'm going to give you every ounce of my spirit and my encouragement, because it is a heavy load for anyone.
Yeah. I feel the same way about her. I worry about her. I mean,
me too.
She's so laden with it and the seriousness of it. I find myself, I have to kind of turn away because I start to feel too much for her. I worry about her.
Well, you can multiply that, 100-fold, and realize that, she lives and breathes it. And obviously we've seen over the course of the last couple of years, where she has sort of risen into the consciousness, a global consciousness, and inspired so many young people. The opposition and the backlash she faces from grown men and grown women.
Yes. And politicos.
Politicos. And it's a marvel to me what people do with fear, what people do with the idea of facing change. It is coming. California is, as you know, facing a drought.
Drought is such a real thing here. When I go to the farm in upstate New York, and the guys leave the tap running because, they're on well water, and I turn it off and they remind me, this is not California. I said, no, but there's a limited amount of water on this planet. And it freaks me out that you just have the faucets running. Like, I can't handle it. And then what you shared, which is if carnivores just ate red meat 2 days less a week, it would just
it's
save.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. And I think
it's little things like that you really are so doable.
So doable. And you got to meet people where they are. I think, as a vegan, I can be, a pain in the butt. And I think my friends are very used to me, but I also have learned a lot about my own advocacy for cruelty towards animals. You have to meet people where they are. And I cheer people on. My God, if they do a salad a couple times a week and aren't doing eggs on the weekend for a breakfast to fry up, and they're doing something, an alternative,
right?
I cheer them on, because that does make a big difference. So that inspires me, Mindy. Any kind of advocacy for the planet, those warriors that kind of go unrewarded, that are scoffed at, laughed at. I live in such a beautiful place, and Canada has 20% of the world's fresh water. And, we worry as a small country that has very little military anything.
Yes.
The only people here with uniforms are the Girl Guides. So, I think we have a responsibility. And even here, where there really isn't a water shortage yet, the messaging is pounded to us about how we water. So Canadians, I think, are on high alert with how we protect the ice cap that's part of our northern territories.
Right.
And but it's so interesting. I'm learning a lot, you guys. I'm learning. I'm fumbling along like everybody else. I'm scared part of the time, but I am very encouraged by young people, by people that are making those changes. Long frickin' answer. Okay, bye.
No. Jann, don't leave us. No,
it's such a good answer.
Yeah, it's a great answer. And it's also, so au courant and, without an eye roll, because I think people sometimes are so afraid to be vocal for fear of, the eye roll or the cancel culture, whatever all else is
retribution,
out there
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
That they're afraid to sort of just say like, this is important to me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have said it's the first time in my life I'm very private, but I have wanted to run for office so bad, and I won't because I don't want people in my personal life. Like I wish there was some way to do it without that.
Yeah.
But I'm so motivated to be a change.
Well, listen, you may feel differently in 5 or 6 or 7 years. And one
Mhm.
thing I have learned is never say never. I too
Yeah.
have considered that political thing. I'm very vocal about the leadership that we do have. And,
Mhm.
I can't take it on right now, but at 59, gosh, I see a president at 78 years old that is dignified, beautifully spoken.
Yep.
Such a change for all of us in Canada who
Yeah.
were equally as affected by the last administration as
Oh,
the
I know
American
it.
people were. So we are hooked to your wagon, full stop. We are hooked to you guys in every possible sense. The border stops nothing. We share
Right.
water, we share resources, we share oxygen, we share a common goal for order and peace in the world. We are not different.
Yeah.
We are, people ask me that all the time, when you tour, when you go do shows in the States or in Canada, I'm like, it's the same emotional, there's only a handful of emotions that human beings can experience.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're where you're from. It's
Right.
it's that joiner. But I think you'd be wonderful at it, but never say never, Mindy.
I won't. I just honestly, I'm so like, chewing my fingernails to get back on television or in front of a camera. I mean, I'm so ready to go back to work.
Good.
This has been my longest, junction of not working, and it's
hiatus.
She ready. Thanks, Christian. That's a loving way to say it.
It's
gainfully unemployed.
Well, not at all. I think
So I'm ready.
I think the universe, exactly. And it's good to feel ready.
Yeah.
There's nothing like tepid. Tepid, I hate that word because it sounds like exactly what it is. And good for you for waiting for that internal, whatever it is, that alarm, that reminder, that currency of the human heart to say, go.
Yeah.
Now's the time. And people need to listen that more. I mean, I don't know what happened to intuition. I don't know why people started thinking it was a good idea to ignore that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like what you said. I think people have gotten so afraid and have channeled it in such a different way than our ancestors, even the generation before us. Our parents' generation just handled fear a little bit. I'm going to say better than we are doing, and I hope that pivots, because I think it's all fear-based.
It is. Well, you have to understand, a difficult day for Gen X is, oh my God, am I the only one with one bar? Who's got, anybody have more than one bar? I've got one bar. And, I don't know if we've raised, even with COVID, I think people of 1950 would have done much better than we did. I think they would have been more orderly. I think they would have been more compliant with each other. Well, this is what we got to do.
Yeah. Neighborly.
It's like, it's not a nuclear bomb being threatened to be dropped on us. But I think, our parents, our grandparents came out of the Second World War feeling so grateful.
Yeah.
And we haven't experienced anything.
No.
If there's a shortage in avocados, it's a hardship.
Yeah.
Chaos. And so when this happened, and I truly believe that good things come out of bad things.
Ditto.
I think this has really prompted families to recognize each other. People were baking bread. Mm-hmm. They were going for walks. They were having conversations. Mm-hmm. I remember I had friends of mine with kids, and their kids were saying, we're just sick of, we want to get outside. We're sick of seeing this phone. I don't want to be in I literally cannot be one more day on my iPad. So, I mean, here, people, it's been unprecedented how people have been hiking and going on trails and getting out, and just tell people they can, and they will do something. But anyway, good things do come out of bad things. And as much as this has been an absolute horror show, for healthcare workers, frontline workers, certainly the people that have struggled with this, and I know lots of people. My cousin's I guess they call her a long hauler, and she's got pleurisy now. She's your age, Mindy, so she's having COVID has really kicked her butt. But but I think she'll come around. You know, she's a pretty tenacious person.
Yeah.
But yeah, young people now realize this is the beginning of a real changing of the guard on this planet, and how, you know, the planet is kind of fighting back a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. Truly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just always want people to lead a little bit more with kindness and remember neighborliness, you know? So whatever. I'm a terminal optimist. I get that from my Granny Rose. Thank God I have her blood coursing through my veins.
You do.
Yeah.
No, you come across, Mindy and I are Instagram friends.
Yes.
And you come across as incredibly intuitive and humble. And I love seeing pictures of your old friends and people that you connect with that know you and have known you for a long time.
Yeah.
And that to me says so much about a person's character. And you do seem like a person that just, you wear your heart on your sleeve, and you're a person of your word, you know? So
I do. And I am. I'll tell you what I'm trying to grow out of being so hard on my friends. I'm really hard on them. I demand a lot. I didn't know how incessantly needy I am until this time, you know, and it's hard for me, but I really am trying to get better at that. That's kind of been my early New Year's resolution, is to, you know, just lighten up on all the people that love me and actually like want for me, you know?
Well, it's the little changes. You never get to an age where, you know, like you've got it all.
I hope
covered.
so.
I got it
Love that.
sorted out. It is a never ending. Just ask my 90-year-old friend, Marianne.
Yay. Happy birthday, Marianne. Woo woo.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. And the sage wisdom she imparts on me.
Yeah.
Whenever I have any kind of trouble or quandary, I just call her. And she, you know, we FaceTime, and she's got all her tech stuff down.
Amazing.
She's baked thousands of loaves of banana bread and lowered them down her balcony for the church people. And
it's amazing.
And
it's brilliant.
Well, I made 12 banana breads today.
Oh my God. Please
lowered them down my balcony.
Please send her, it's truly my sincerest, like, good wishes, and tell her hello for me.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to meet her.
Like,
I need to meet her.
Yeah, you will. Bloom where you are, she always says.
I love that.
Where you are.
Oh, that's
you
so
know, make
awesome.
Make the best out of every situation you have. And if I mean, I'm not going to live that long. But I don't even know how she does it.
I love it.
But there is value in a long friendship. There's value. My greatest successes are my friends.
Yeah,
for sure.
Same. Ditto. Jann, thank you. You are like even better than I had hoped for. You're just incredible. I so appreciate you, and I am so excited to have met you, and I'm getting my ass up to Calgary. Just telling you.
You're welcome here anytime, and we will cross paths for sure.
Yes.
Christian, thank you for putting this all together. Continued wonderment and joy in your life, and just kick ass, and let's just get out there and fail.
Oh yes, come on. No. The best is yet to come.
It means
100%.
the best is. That's right. The best. Thanks for having me,
ladies and gentlemen. One more time, a big round of applause for the very special Jann Arden.
Yes.
This episode of Mondays with Mindy is brought to you in part by our sponsors, When by Chaz Dean and The Cocktail Party, Love Mary. Chaz Dean redefined the industry with his innovative line of When cleansing conditioners, creating an entirely new way to care for your hair. Today, When encompasses a full array of cruelty-free hair and skincare products for every hair and skin type. Visit chazdean.com or mondayswithmindy.com and start focusing on you while they take care of the rest. Tired of cooking? Love fancy hors d'oeuvres but don't have any idea how to prepare? Look no further. The Cocktail Party, Love Mary, is here. For 15 years, New York's caterer to the stars and our pal Mary Giuliani has served her deliciously whimsical hors d'oeuvres to the best names in art, fashion, and entertainment. Now she's put them all in an adorable little box to send from her heart to your home. As Mary says, all you have to do is turn on your oven, pour yourself a drink, and enjoy more time with your guests. She'll take care of the rest. Go to marygiuliani.com or mondayswithmindy.com for more information and to order yours today.